India's relationship with China has never been an easy one. Frequent border incursions along the 3,500-kilometer-long border between the two Asian neighbors. The tension on the Doklam Plateau with China, building roads and stationing troops. And China's backing of Pakistan and its terror groups in every available global forum. But there's something curious happening right now. Beijing has just reached out across the fence to New Delhi and is asking for a dance. But like the proverbial crocodile and monkey in the Indian collection of children's stories, the Panchatantra, will India be the crocodile or the monkey? Will it glide into a waltz with the other big Asian superpower, or will it first wait for its favorite song to play? Senior foreign editor Padma Rao examines the question.
Be it after the tense standoff between the two Asian superpowers on the Doklam Highland or the frequent forays by China's PLA into Indian territory, China has always employed a tone that resembles a patronizing, scolding older relative towards a poor country cousin, in this case India. But earlier today, and for the first time perhaps in the history of India-China relations, China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi struck an astounding note on the subject of India. At his annual press conference, the Chinese foreign minister was asked what he thought of China's relations with India. 2017 had been a particularly tense year between the two neighbors. Here's what he said.
Despite some tests and difficulties, the China-India relationship continues to grow. Chinese and Indian leaders have developed a strategic vision for the future of our relations.
Come again? That was the reaction Mr. Yi's remarks evoked across the border in India, even as India was waking up to a new day of possibly fresh tensions with China over some border or land issue or another. But there were more surprises in store. While acknowledging that there were contentious issues, Mr. Yi said,
China is upholding its rights and legitimate interests and taking care to preserve the relationship with India.
Then gushed forth what could have been written off as stream of consciousness babble, were it not for the fact that this was the foreign minister of the mighty People's Republic of China speaking in public to the media. In an essence, here's what he said. Chinese and Indian leaders have a strategic vision for the future of their relations. China and India must do everything to support each other and avoid mutual suspicion. With political trust, not even the Himalayas can stop our friendly exchanges. Our common interests far outweigh our frictions. If China and India are united, 1 + 1 will become 11 instead of 2. The dragon and the elephant must not fight, but dance with each other. Now, such declarations of eternal friendship and brotherhood from China? By now, either most viewers have moist eyes or are rolling them at what expansionist China could possibly have meant by united China and India, and the startling mathematics behind, quote, 1 + 1 will become 11, unquote. But look at it with a cool head. What could it possibly mean? No matter what the foreign minister also said about China's Belt and Road Initiative, China's brand of debt trap diplomacy that has ensnared nearly 100 countries is under sharp criticism. Europe has refused to be part of the Silk Road. India, the United States, Japan and possibly Australia have come together in a strategic grouping known as the Quad to counter China's aggressive land grabbing, both in the Indian Ocean and the South China Seas. And now, China's closest trade partner, the United States, has issued the direst of warnings. The Trump administration is preparing to throttle Chinese investments in the United States and slam tariffs on imports from China. It is going to act firmly against intellectual property theft by China. And most of all, President Donald Trump plans to cut the $620 billion annual trade deficit between the two countries in half and create 2 million jobs for Americans in America. China is finding itself increasingly isolated in the international arena. India's 1.2 billion man market surely beckons as an attractive alternative, despite India's stern measures against dumping by Chinese companies. And India is fast emerging as a far closer strategic ally to the United States than China, especially in matters Pakistan and Afghanistan. What better time for an invitation to the dance floor to New Delhi than now? However, and in the corridors of South Bloc, Indian diplomats are nobody's fools. They will have long read the fine print and will tango only if it's a dance between equal partners. Padma Rao, WION.